Hello, everyone. Welcome. Come on in. We are live, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. We are live. This is going to be all about level up your leadership strategies to make every task count. That's right. It's all about we're going to be speaking about non-promotable tasks. I always want you well informed. I want you aware. And so we are going to get on in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. You all, I had to write that down because if you see any of my videos, I wish y'all can shout me out and say, Miranda, you never say that. And I keep saying, I got to remember because if I am watching, especially someone's information that I am thoroughly enjoying, when they say like and subscribe, then I don't know, epiphany. You would think we have been in this social media game. Well, most of you all have been in the game longer than I have. However, regardless, you would think we have been in this social media game that would become a norm for me, and it is still not a norm. With that being said, you all, please like and subscribe. Greetings. Listen, let's go and jump on in. Last week, I hope you caught it. If you didn't, you can catch it on YouTube or Facebook. It was all about understanding the broken rung. Definitely. It is something especially for career women. If you've been in your career for a year, 2, even up to 5 years, you want to listen. If you're a leader and you don't know about the broken rung, please go back and listen so that you are educated. When you listen to anything that I'm doing, it's always going to be, first of all, leadership, leadership, leadership. It's all about pulling everyone up. 30 years ago, I did not have this. 30 years ago, I was looking for people to be able to pour into me, and I didn't have it. And so I want that for you. Definitely. If you don't know about, and I'm going to say it again, and I know I'm repeating myself. If you don't know about the broken rung, it is so imperative as leaders that you stay abreast. Leaders are readers. Make sure that you're reading out there. Make sure that you just don't rely on what got you there. Don't rely on what you learned a year ago. Keep learning. I know I felt like I just said a PSA announcement. Again, today it's all about non-promotable tasks. Our 3 points are going to be identification, proportion, and boundaries. I want to do a quick roll call always, whether you're catching me live, whether you're catching me on a replay, shout us out. Tell us your name, where you're tuning in from. We love to hear from you. If there is something that is really resonating with you, tell me what that is. If you have questions, we do look at the comments. And so between myself, my team, we're reading it. So if you have a question, feel free, drop it in the comments. We will definitely get with you or respond at some point. I want to start by telling a quick story, and I want you to see if this resonates with you, if you can see yourself in this story. Climbing. We're going to think about climbing a mountain. And the peak of that mountain is going to be the ultimate leadership role. For some of you, that could be a first line supervisor, a second line supervisor. It could be senior at the senior level leadership, or it could be even at an executive level leadership, whatever climbing that mountain and that peak is for you. Along the way, you encounter being in a valley, being in a trench, somewhere at a low point before you reach the summit, before you reach your ultimate peak. In this case, this period of time, you're assigned tasks that may not directly contribute to promotability or visibility. And that's important, promotability and visibility. So I'm going to share a story. We'll call her May. May was known for her hard work and dedication. How many of you out there are also known for your hard work? You're known for your dedication. You are the go-to person. Well, this was a May, always the first to volunteer for any extra task. Does that sound familiar? However, many of these tasks that May volunteered for were non-promotable tasks. While her team definitely appreciated that she took the time out to do these tasks, now non-promotable tasks still mean they need to get done. They are very important to the organization. However, that does not mean that her contributions are being seen by leadership. And thus, for May, all of these tasks that she was doing, when it was time for promotion, she was overlooked. And of course, for her, it's like, but I'm doing work. The question becomes, is the work that you're doing being noticed by the appropriate, and when I say appropriate, I mean for hiring purposes, is it being seen by those in leadership where if you're looking for promotion, they know that you're doing all of these things. So this story highlights why recognizing and strategically managing these tasks are vital for climbing out of that trench, out of that summit, getting out of that low place so that you can reach the summit, should I say. Definitely, if this is intriguing, please continue to listen, because I know that there are so many of you out there. You are excellent at what you do. You are so willing to help others. However, for some of you, helping others has not translated into promotion. And again, if you're on this channel, we're about leadership. We are about making sure that you position yourself to go to the next level. It's about making sure, and again, the next level could be different for each and every one, but it is about going to the next level. It's also important to understand you need to know about non-promotable tasks. They are essential, but again, they go unnoticed. They're unnoticed jobs that contributes to the organization, but they don't offer much in terms of progression. These tasks are often neglected and employees fail to recognize their importance. However, it is imperative for you to be able to identify these tasks, as they can derail your journey towards leadership roles. Now, as you're listening to this, some of you are not yet supervisors. Some of you may have just gotten into the workforce. I don't know where you are. So take some of this with a grain of salt, because if you just started, you may need to do a little bit more non-promotable tasks than maybe someone else who's been within their organization, maybe someone else who's been a leader. So do not say, Spark of Joy Coach Miranda, told me to tell you, Supervisor X, that I'm not going to do no more non-promotable tasks. Do not take that. Take this as information. Learn how to weave it. Learn how to use it to empower you. Because again, I don't want you going your job tomorrow and say, Sparkle Joe or Coach Miranda said that I'm just not going to do any non-promotable tasks. And you just started working there. That's not the direction we're going in. First thing, identification. It's crucial to identify the non-promotable tasks to manage your workload efficiently. These tasks may seem insignificant, but if they occupy the majority of your time, they can hinder your growth. Can doesn't necessarily mean they will always, but you need to make sure that you're aware. Some examples of non-promotable tasks are administrative work. I'm not coming for the administrative people out there, because obviously if you are an admin person, your tasks are admin work related. However, if you are a project manager, yes, you're going to have some admin work, but should all of it be certain types of admin work? And maybe project manager is not a good example, but maybe a program analyst. Should all of your tasks be administrative work? Should all of your tasks be data entry or things such as maybe taking minutes? Yes, it is important in certain business settings that minutes are done. However, does that mean you need to take minutes? So these are just things that you have to start thinking about what you're doing, how you're doing, and how is this task helping me to grow? And again, for some, you may need to learn these tasks. You may need to do some of these tasks. These tasks are essential for an organization to function, but they do not directly impact your visibility or your opportunities for advancement. Again, it's about making sure that you are aware so you know how to navigate. It's essential to recognize that these tasks, or it's essential to recognize these tasks and determine how much time are you spending on them. Identifying the non-promotable task will help you to determine how much time you have for promotable tasks. And so we want to get to the point that we're doing more promotable tasks. I'm not saying don't do any non-promotable tasks, but we need to make sure that you are leveraging everything well. Don't get stuck doing stuff without making forward or upward movement. Second area, proportion. Understanding the proportion of non-promotable tasks in your workload is going to be another crucial area. Non-promotable tasks are inevitable. So yes, I get it. Miranda, yes, Miranda is saying some of these things are inevitable, but they should not dominate your work life. It's important to balance those non-promotable tasks with, again, promotable tasks, which directly impact your visibility and opportunities for advancement. Achieving this balance is key for your steady growth. And again, just depending on what level you are at, a employee may have more in general non-promotable tasks than maybe a first line supervisor. But even for a first line supervisor, you need to be looking at, what am I doing? Do I need to delegate some of that? The same for a second line supervisor. Again, each level requires a different viewpoint, a different eyesight, eye gate. To determine the right balance, you need to understand the impact of each task on your career goals. And people, please tell me you have career goals. Matter of fact, what are your career goals? Let us know. Put them in the comments. You need career goals. Promotable tasks include tasks that require, now listen, promotable tasks are things that require strategic thinking, decision making. It requires you to be able to problem solve. So when we're thinking about promotable, we're thinking along those areas. These tasks will help you to be able to gain visibility. It's going to help you to develop your skills. And when you do things of that nature, it also highlights career growth opportunities. On the other hand, non-promotable tasks, yes, they are essential. They are also repetitive tasks that do not require skill mastery or creativity. Some of these tasks may be time consuming, some of them may be tedious. And yes, again, they are necessary for the organization to run efficiently. You just need to make sure that you're leveraging. You need to make sure that you're also balancing. You need to make sure that you're doing, especially if you're looking for growth. And hopefully, if you're visiting me, you are looking for growth. You need to make sure that you're doing those tasks that also help you with visibility. Our third area, boundaries, 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 boundaries. And I say that because when I was putting this together, all I thought was, man, I have to do something on boundaries because you all aren't drawing any. Y'all not drawing boundaries. Y'all are doing any and everything. And how do I know this? Because I'm a coach and I speak to many people. And here's the thing. Whether you're an employee, whether your title is attorney, whether your title is scientist, whether your title is admin assistant specialist, doesn't matter. You all aren't drawing boundaries. I'm just saying, and I don't know. When I get a little excited, sometimes I start singing. And don't throw rotten eggs or tomatoes at me for my singing. But I'm just saying, you all, and I know this firsthand, are not. There are no boundaries. And so it's so critical. Setting boundaries is a vital. It's, first of all, I know that I'm talking about non-promotable tasks, but it's vital in your life. But back to our regularly scheduled program. Boundaries are vital to managing non-promotable tasks efficiently, effectively. It's crucial to learn to say no. Don't know why I sung that, but it's crucial to learn no. Also, know when to delegate tasks. And of course, obviously, that works better if you're a lead, a supervisor. However, maybe you are in a position, a non-supervisory position, and maybe you also work with interns. And thus, maybe you can delegate some of those things to interns or maybe someone that is just coming on the job or something like that. So I do recognize when I say delegating tasks when appropriate, it just depends on where you are within your organization. This doesn't mean that you're going to be shrinking away from responsibilities, but rather recognize when these tasks may be hindering your career growth and take action to refocus your activities that align more to your career goals, which is why I asked, what are your career goals? Please don't be out here in these streets just hoping with a wing and a prayer that something is just going to fall in your lap and you absolutely have no goal for that. And if that's you and you're struggling, send me a message. Let's get you out of that struggle. To set boundaries, you need to determine which tasks align with your career goals. Again, career goals. I need you all to have them. You should prioritize tasks that directly impact your visibility and opportunities for advancement. Remember, we talked about those. Those are more things like strategic, when you are able to strategically think, when it's decision making, maybe there's even some creativity involved in it. Those are the things that you need to make sure that you get to highlight, okay? Make sure you're highlighting them. If you find yourself spending too much time on non-promotable tasks, again, consider, do you need to delegate them? How do you need to reprioritize? Do you need to say no sometimes? Even though it could be very tempting to raise your hand for a project, is that project really going to help you? Are you going to be able to stand out? Again, depending on where you are, because some of this you can really run with it as an employee. If you're a supervisor, just depending on where you are, you may need to think a little bit differently about some of what I am sharing with you as well. Again, when it comes to delegating tasks, it will not only free up your time, but it provides, please remember, especially those supervisors out there, provide opportunities for your employees. Provide opportunities by delegating. Stop thinking that they're going to mess something up. Give them the shot you wish you had. Non-promotable tasks are essential to an organization's success. Hopefully that has rung true. We need to still do non-promotable tasks. I just need you to be more aware. I need you to be cognizant. I need you to start thinking about things slightly different. With non-promotable tasks, they should not hinder your growth. It's crucial to identify these tasks, understand their proportion in your workload, and set boundaries to manage them effectively. Balancing non-promotable tasks with, again, promotable tasks is the key for steady career growth, regardless of where you are falling currently. By doing so, you can develop skills. You're going to be able to gain visibility and create opportunities for advancement. Now, with all that being said, understanding non-promotable task is like having a map. Look at it as a roadmap to the terrain that you are currently in. We discuss why it's essential to identify tasks, ensure that you're managing them in a proportionate type of deal. You want your workload managed correctly. And you also need to set boundaries to make sure that your career is going in the direction that you want it to go, that it's not just sitting there stagnant, that it is not stale. Also, remember May's story. Don't stay stuck with these non-promotable tasks. Mastering this, understanding it, is going to help you to move your career in the direction that you want it to go. And it also will help to ensure leadership recognizes your potential. It's not about working hard, but always work smarter. And it's literally a crucial concept in leadership. Okay. All right. I always love ending with quotes. And this quote is, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't step forward, you're always in the same place. Let's make sure that we are not stuck in the same place. Okay? Join me next week for more incredible insights, great nuggets. You deserve nothing but the best. It is my goal to ensure that you move to your next level. Let's take your career to new heights together.